And we're back, guys. It's time to finally talk about these juicy Street Fighter 6 leaks. We wanted to talk about this for a while, but you know, with the Street Fighter 6 beta and doing a million videos here, we can finally start talking about it. So if you guys have been out of the loop, there has been data mining going on because people finally have access to the game, and people are ripping out music tracks because people want all the Street Fighter 6 music that Capcom hasn't released yet. But they also found audio files, commentary audio files in the game that reveal character moves and a bunch of information on how the characters play, all through the commentary tracks on characters that are not even revealed yet. Basically the entire roster, all 18 characters. That's what we're going to discuss in this video. However, there is a lot to talk about. When me and Mir started writing down all this information on our theories and stuff, we slowly realized the video was going to be easily over an hour long. So we'll provide timestamps in the video description. And I think we have to split this up between characters as well, Mir. Otherwise, like I said, it'll just be way too long.
A lot of interesting information to go over, so that's why the videos would end up being way too long. Yeah,
it'll be fun because then we can take extra time and go over each character and not try to get through them quickly, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And they even have the birthday commentary voice lines, Mir, which is cool. There's like birthday lines for every character.
Yeah, dynamic lines that will play during the birthday.
Yeah, I think that's sick.
They've been celebrating those on their Twitter account all the time. It makes sense to put it in the game.
I think today we're going to start with JP, Mir, because he's like one of the most mysterious and interesting characters. And going through his move list at first was very overwhelming because he had all this like foreign language and all these moves. But when we really looked into it, there's a lot to talk about. So let me first play all of the JP commentary lines for you guys. Just take a listen to it, and then we'll break it down.
It's JP's birthday today. He's got a gift for deception and manipulating from the shadows. But you've got to wonder what principles drive the man. Throwing some shade through the door. Torbalan spikes him with Triglov. The Triglov skewers him. Departure cages them in with the Love Shuka. It's a fake. Stone cold embrace. You can't block those. There's nowhere to run. Charges in to get hands on them for the interdiction. Raids them. Lets the Chernobog rip. Send them to another dimension. Interdiction. Nothing's gonna save them now. Say goodbye to that life bar. Oh, they took the bait. Very nice, Triglov. Grabs them with the embrace. Feints. Torbalan incoming. Starting the party. Stribog. Hounding them with the Lavshuka. Can they stand the heat? Uses the teleport. Triglov. Got him. Mix-up time. Counters with amnesia. Nice read. Lavshuka. Throws them in the minefield, fools them and locks them in embrace. Oh, coming for you. Amnesia, betting it all on this level 2 super art. Baits them and goes in for the hug. It's the interdiction. They've been waiting for this. This could change everything. Fires off the Chernobog. Nails the Stribog. Departure set. Oh no, caught by the interdiction. Doesn't matter how far you run, he's gonna get you, and the damage is unreal! Chernobog! Stribog ices him! Stribog! Where's this going? Rake him!
So the first lines that really stand out to me, Mir, describes the character. So the commentary lines are, he's got a gift for deception and manipulating from the shadows.
He's got a gift for deception and manipulating from the shadows.
You know, we saw his flag in that leak list, Mir. It showed a question mark on it. We don't know what organization he belongs to, for example.
I would associate that with the Illuminati, right? It was either that or Shadaloo, but next to Ed, we see the Neo Shadaloo flag, so I would assume that if it were Shadaloo, it would be something more resemblant to the original logo, right? So I think it's fair to assume that it's some secret organization of some kind. And the Illuminati just makes sense. Working behind the scenes sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that sounds so awesome, man. And we know, like, even his name is mysterious, you know? It's not even a name. It's JP, like he's an alphabet character. So we know other characters that have alphabet names, G and Q. They're both completely mysterious. We don't know their origins, right? They could even be aliens.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, unlike the other Illuminati, it doesn't have that little gem in the middle of his forehead. So it could literally be a wizard at a time.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, he's like some kind of shadow wizard character, but I hope he has ties to the Illuminati, Mir. I think that'd be so sick. I want to know more. Well, you're not supposed to know more, but you know what I mean? Like, I want them to expand on this whole Illuminati side of Street Fighter, because I think that's awesome. We know for sure now that he's this, mysterious character, and he's not just some rich man, with a cane or whatever, right?
Well, maybe he is also rich. You don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, well, he's powerful. I'm sure he's got moolah. The leak before we even saw JP being revealed, it mentions that he had psycho power. But I don't know if he does listening to this move list. The only thing was when the commentary track mentions throwing some shade.
Throwing some shade.
Right? And,
Yeah.
shade could be psycho power. Maybe the shade is like purple color,
Right, I was thinking that maybe most of his effects are gonna have some color associated with them, and maybe most of his normals or throws and such, like the basic stuff, will have purple shade. So maybe they confused it with psycho power, or maybe he does have psycho power and we just don't know. Obviously, that's a possibility as
Yeah.
well.
It's hard because we obviously can't see it, but I think we
Yeah.
can agree that he's blatantly like a villain character, or at least not a good guy, straight up.
Yeah, it doesn't strike me as one of those, especially because deception, manipulation, right?
Yeah, exactly. The only other character like from that leak list we saw was like Aki. That's probably not like probably a villain character, but I think JP is definitely the most blatant one. So I'm really excited to see how JP like plays visually. But now we got a lot of hints. Also, a lot of the names of his moves are all references to like Slavic gods as well.
Yeah, it seems to take a lot from Eastern culture. And this is a classic with a lot of characters where they have names of their moves that reference either their culture or their background or whatever, right?
Yeah, I
And
think that's
we're
cool.
gonna see that with the others as well later on.
But there is a lot going on with these moves. Like they're clearly all over the place. We can say that he's like a zoner kind of character, but he's definitely a magic user, Like I don't think he's a character that physically attacks you. I think, he'll have his cane and he'll stay far away from you. I mean, he looks old.
Yeah.
I guess Bison's old too, but he's obviously someone who uses his powers to fight, right?
Right.
So
I think that's a fair assumption, yeah, because we're gonna see it later. There's quite a few of those that he uses magic, but I don't know for a fact that he's going to be zoning based. Maybe he does play a little bit of longer range until he gets the knockdown, and then through his special moves and such, he manages to get in and push a mix up, because he does seem to have some mix up moves as well.
I mean, if I were to guess, I would say he's more of a zoner / trap kind of character, but he definitely has hints of moves that, like you said, makes him want to go close too, right? That he's dangerous close as well. So at first I thought it was a little bit more simple what kind of powers he has. I thought it was just like fire and ice, kind of like Gil, because he says things like, the commentary track says, can they stand the heat? And Stribog ices them.
Can they stand the heat? Fires off the Chernobyl. Stribog ices them.
But the more you listen to it, there's other elements in play. So I think he's more of an elemental character with all of his moves.
Right. So, for example, we hear about a move called Triglav, which seems to, spike them or whatever. And Triglav is a mountain in Slovenia, as well as another Slavic deity. And so it would make sense that that would be associated with Earth, right? As well as the Stone Cold Embrace, another thing that could be associated with Earth. And even the other moves that are talking about ice, right, and frost could be both water and air. There's some feints that might be associated with either as well. It seems more like elemental powers, and obviously the shadow as well. It could be an extra on top of that, more like a wizard character, right? Instead of
He's straight up
fire.
Gandalf,
Yeah?
Like he's not like Gil, but he does sound like Illuminati, but he sounds more like Gandalf, like he's a wizard character straight up. Now, besides the elements mirror, there's some other weird things like dimensions and time manipulation. I might be like looking too much into it, but for one, we hear a voice line through the door.
Through the door.
And in my head, I'm thinking like it's a grab, like just a normal throw. And he's throwing you into a portal or something, and you end up somewhere else. It even says, sends them to another dimension.
Send them to another dimension.
Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's possible. Like, it might be related to some abilities that can send you another parts of the screen, right?
Yeah.
Through a portal of some kind. And we know that he also has some teleporting powers, so that could also be related, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like Faust in Guilty Gear, where he just shows up, opens the door, and is like, hello, and he hits you with the door.
There is a lot of like anime character references, especially if Oshige is involved, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's something, with the Faust door,
Yeah.
Now, once again, the reason why I think he's more of a zoning trap character, Mir, is because we're hearing a lot of things that make me think of traps on the floor, right? Because there must be this stone pillar thing like you talked about before, because the voice line says, spikes him with Triglav, right? And the Triglav skewers him.
Spikes him with Triglav. The Triglav skewers him.
And there's even another voice line that says, starting the party.
Starting the party?
Like, to me, that sounds like he's setting something up. Something's going on the screen. Make it difficult to maneuver around and get to him.
That's possible. There's also another reference to a minefield, to throw them in a minefield.
Throws them in the minefield.
There's another special move that we have no clue how it's spelled. Sounds like Lashuka. That cages you in, that hounds you. You know,
I'm
like
not,
it could be.
yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Cages them in with the Lavshuka. Hounding them with the Lavshuka.
Yeah, cages
It
them
could be
in.
like I was thinking Dormammu's stalking flare in Marvel, you know, like that chases you around, sort of something like that. Maybe on the ground, possibly like Necalli's barf thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Gil's like V Trigger 2, like an ice trap on the ground.
Yeah, the ice trap,
or
maybe,
something like Testament, you know, or Atakune with Blaze Blue. You know, I'm thinking like traps. You know, it's kind of hard for me to like keep open-minded on it, Mir, with you, because you and me are both like thinking something in our head, like visually what it would look like.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to kind of like wrap my head around what you're thinking when I'm kind of made up my mind. You know, the conjectures just get out of hand, you know. But obviously we could both be right, we could both be wrong. It's just how you interpret it. But at the very least, like, this character is going to handicap you in a way from far away, or make it hard to maneuver around. That's for sure, you know?
Yeah, another thing, I guess, talking about these moves, right, is another idea that I had, at least for the Tree Glove, is that was going to be something like Aquaman from Injustice, where he hits the ground and then like something comes up right under your butt and hits you, you know? And then that's how he gets the knockdown and gets in to deal with zoning and such.
No, dude, that's like there's so many NRS moves that are like that, that something comes out of the ground from where you're sitting. Oh no, I don't want that, Mir.
The other thing is that it could be like the Gil's Tree of Frost sends you flying.
the spear.
Yeah, the Tree of Frost or whatever.
Oh yeah. That move sucks, by the way. I hate that move. That move sucks, Mir. The next thing too, and this is where it gets a little confusing, Mir, that he's not just a zone or a trap character. He might have a command throw.
Right.
So he says the commentary track is Stone Cold Embrace. You can't block those.
Stone Cold Embrace. You can't block those.
I think that's definitive evidence, but there's more, of course.
Grabs them with the embrace, baits them, and goes in for the hug.
Yeah, going in for the hug. Grabs them with the embrace. There's even like a mix-up to it. Like, it's a feint, you know? Something like that. I don't know.
Fools them and locks them in embrace. It's a fake. Oh, they took the bait. Mix-up time. Rake them.
Yeah, I've been thinking maybe it's part of a stance. Kind of like, you know, a demon flip, but not necessarily in the air. Something maybe you do on the ground. And you have the throw, which might be reactable, but you can fake it, and then if they jump, you can do something about that.
I don't know. I can imagine him having a command throw, but I don't know if he's going to grab you physically, just by looking at him, you know?
Yeah, it could be a stone hand.
Yeah, exactly. Something appears, you know?
Well, another thing about this is that it is mentioned a little bit later on, but it might not even be a command throw that deals damage. It might be just a command throw that resets you in a situation where then you can push a mix-up. A little stance where you can either do the command throw or, you know, the feint. I think that would make sense. It could be something unrelated as well. I think it makes sense. You know, you do the command throw and they jump and you feint it and you hit them in the air.
There's something type of mix-up where you have different combinations you can do, and it ends up in a grab if they guess wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Something to make the opponent want to move. And I guess that would complement his playstyle well if it's something where he sets down traps on you or fights you from far away.
Yeah, it is possible that the throw is very slow, but with the traps, you'll be able to set it up just as they exit block stun, and then they would have to deal with the mix-up immediately.
I mean, this character sounds complicated, Mir, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a wizard. He better be.
He better be.
He probably studied his whole life ancient scrolls in his library, pondering his orb.
Do we have any wizard characters in Street Fighter?
I mean, I guess you could say that Rose has a little bit of magic powers, like a little bit.
Yeah, you know, she's like a fortune teller. Looks like you're manipulating different elements and projectiles on the screen. And another
visuals, of course, right? Like, naturally, it doesn't have to be a gameplay mechanic, but it'd be interesting if it was.
Yeah, it would. Another reason, Mir, why I think he's a zoner is he obviously has a teleport. That's for damn sure.
Right. Yeah. It straight up says that he has a teleport.
Yeah, it says uses the teleport.
Uses the teleport.
But there's some other lines too that might be similar, like departure and departure set. Doesn't matter how far you run, he's gonna get you.
Departure! Departure set! There's nowhere to run! Doesn't matter how far you run, he's gonna get you!
I was thinking that the departure set line especially was quite interesting because it made me immediately think of certain moves from other games where you kind of set a spot on the ground and then you teleport back to that spot on the ground. The Warlocks in World of Warcraft does something like that now.
That's not a fighting game reference.
Tonka in Dota, X marks the spot. But it'd be interesting because
Dota
you could set it
reference,
down.
Mir.
You know, you could set it down behind them, right? Let's say you can set it down at in any place on the screen.
Okay.
And then you can place down your trap, and then they have to guess if you're gonna teleport behind them or not, and get hit by the mix-up. Kind of like how Dawson would do it, right, with his own teleport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like you're making me think of like Psylocke in MVC2, where like it shows a bunch of Psylocks and she goes to one of the orbs, or maybe like this Scarecrow with Faust.
Faust, yeah,
that's Guilty Gear. I don't know. It's strange, but he definitely can move around the screen quickly if he has a teleport. Yeah.
If anything, we know he has a teleport. That's
yeah, and like that's why I think he's a trap character, because if he needs to stay away from you, and he needs time to set things up, right? And then when he does set things up, then he can go in, right? And he has those mix-ups and those feints and stuff. So he's supposed to be tricky. He's definitely supposed to be slippery. I mean, this character sounds really annoying. It sounds cool, though. It sounds cool the more we talk about it.
I mean, I was interested before, and hopefully if he looks cool, it'd be interesting to play as well.
Yeah, but people were interested before, like, mostly because, one, he's like the alphabet character. He's mysterious, and he's like Bison.
Yeah.
But people are thinking maybe he plays like Bison, like he's the Bison replacement, you know? But he doesn't sound like Bison at all. You know, he sounds like a wizard.
I have to admit, in a very superficial way, I just liked how he dresses.
Oh my god, man.
Hey man, he looked cool. He had the cape and all.
Yeah. You're all about the aesthetic. You're like the opposite of me. I look at characters from a function point of view, but you're like.
I mean, the function is important, but it comes second. I think. Like the reason why I pick up a character is because I think they're cool, and then, you know, maybe it's like Chun-Li in Street Fighter V, where I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing.
You're definitely the majority. I think a lot of people pick their character because that's aesthetics. He also seems to have a reversal mirror, or like a DP or something. Because of this voice line, let the Chernobog or Chernobog, I don't know if what he's saying.
I've always said Chernobog. This is another Slavic deity, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But the way it's pronounced in game, I suppose it's a little bit different, so it made me doubt my pronunciation. But
yeah, I mean, it's hard in the commentators because they have to say all these foreign words, and I don't know what references they use so they can figure it out. I don't know if they just go on Google, but they have to say a lot of these lines. So, that would suck for me.
I wouldn't blame them. They already have lots on their hands.
But he's saying let it rip. So like when you say let it rip, in my head is like, you know, DP, you know, something risky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like something, you know, dangerous and powerful.
Let the Chernobog rip! Can they stand the heat? Fires off the Chernobog!
It could be a pillar of flame around them, something like that. You know?
Yeah,
like
it could be.
If it is a flame move.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, right, there's another line that says fires off the Chernobog. So maybe that has something to do, like fires off. Maybe it's just a pun, right? But
a mystical rocket.
It's dude, it's definitely a reversal. I think you're right on that. There's also some references to supers, and I'm worried about this one, Mir. We don't know for sure, but the line is counters with the amnesia. I don't know if he's saying amnesia or amnesia.
It sounds like he's saying amnesia, but again, you know, you guys can tell us in the comments because we don't have a transcript, so obviously we're kind of like just guessing.
Right, I'll play the line.
Counters with amnesia. Nice read. Amnesia. Betting it all on this level 2 super art.
But then he says, nice read. And bended it all on this level 2. So does that mean it's a counter super mirror or a parry?
That's what I thought as well. I just hope that it doesn't have a screen freeze before.
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of counter supers. Some people like them, but basically they're hit or miss. But I'm not a fan in general of them just, you know, throwing them out. I don't know. I think
it would make sense in a game like Street Fighter 6, even if it is after the flash, although that would suck. Like, I wouldn't like that, but because you can react with it to drive impact, right? Like, that's one of the great classics of this game that everyone's debating now. Is like, oh, there's some situations where I have to do a super. Yeah. Well, what if it's a parry super? It just kills you.
Right.
So there you go.
Well, like, we know that who had to counter ultras in Street Fighter 4 was like Fei Long and Cammy.
Cammy and Fei Long, I think, right?
Yeah, and they didn't work well at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And if you don't make
But
the
you could
screen
cancel
free,
out a focus attack in that game, right? For
Yeah.
example. So like in this situation, with the drive impact example specifically, at least you have something that you know that you can react to and you blow up.
yeah, but as a level 2 super, that's very costly. You know, that's a huge risk.
Which is why I expect them not to have the screen freeze, before the parry.
Maybe it's
Because it
something
is
that
bars, right? It's such a big deal.
Yeah, maybe we're looking too much into it. Maybe it does hit, but it's also a counter. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's just a like a very invulnerable super. Like it's invulnerable for a very long time.
But either way, whatever this super is, there's risk to it because nice read and bending it all. Definitely, it sounds like there's risk to it.
Yeah, you just sit there doing your parry stance and then you get punched in the face when it's done.
Mm-hmm. and now there's this interdiction, and we think it might be a level 3 mirror because one of the lines is, "Nothing's gonna save them now. Say goodbye to that life bar."
Charges in to get hands on them for the interdiction! Interdiction! Nothing's gonna save them now. Say goodbye to that life bar! It's the interdiction! They've been waiting for this! This could change everything! Oh no, caught by the interdiction! And the damage is unreal!
Yeah, and we see with the other characters that usually when they mention stuff that does a lot of damage, it seems to imply that it is their level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which would make sense because they usually do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. And caught by the interdiction, so once again, it could be another type of trap on the screen, something.
Well, yeah, like interdiction, it implies that it's stopping something, right? Like almost like a defensive move. I don't think this one is also a parry, but it would be something maybe quick, right? That you can use to stop the opponent. Or obviously you'd be able to combo into it, just like many other level 3s.
That's
and
why
they talk about like putting his hands on you with this interdiction. So I wonder what he's gonna do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? He's supposed to manipulate you, like maybe he can use you like a puppet, and that's why I was saying that, like, he might even be able to manipulate time too, you know. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but the character sounds complex, very interesting, evil, deceptive. And we want more characters in this game that are like complex because we want those kind of archetypes where we can see really cool stuff, when someone masters that character.
Yeah, we haven't seen any character that's listed as easy yet, so maybe it'll be one of the others that we are going to go over in the future.
Yeah, exactly. But JP, after like hearing these lines, he's like on the top of my list now. I want to see this character so badly. Like, he seems so cool, man.
Because his suit's so cool, right?
Not just his suit, dude. Not just his suit. I just I guess, I don't know if I just want things to be more serious, but like I said, the storyline right now is very happy, and I want to see who the antagonist is, and I want to see what the struggle is in this game storyline-wise, right? So JP is a huge part of that. Whenever they reveal JP, we're going to hear a huge, big part of the story about what is, the big opposing force that these characters have to deal with this time around, right? It's not just...
Maybe he got very rich before joining the Illuminati by using his time powers to buy cryptocurrency back in the
No, Mir. No, maybe... But speaking of that, I know you're joking, but maybe it has something to do with Rose. Like, I hope JP is not kind of an afterthought character that they kind of shoehorn in. I hope they retcon something, and he's someone who's been around for a long time.
Watching from the shadows.
Yeah, really deep in the Illuminati, like someone who's been around for a really long time and finally revealing himself now that he got his ducks in a row and it's finally time to make his move. I think that would be sick. I hope that's the case.
I mean, at this point, it could literally be a visitor from another time, just to screw with the timeline. That's another possibility.
Oh, man.
Maybe Rose will show up too.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome, man. I'm super excited. Guys, let us know in the comments below after hearing these lines. What do you guys think about these moves? What kind of character you guys think he is? And if there's anything you guys can add to it, especially if you guys speak Russian or can hear the lines better than we can, let us know and we can talk more about it. Me and Mir, we're gonna cover the other characters that haven't been revealed yet, and we'll go through it in great detail. So just bear with us. We got a lot of videos down the pipeline. We'll we'll get through it eventually. If there's something short, we can do like 2 characters at a time as well. But thanks for helping with it, me with this, Mir. All right, guys. Hopefully Capcom will give us some news. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking about leaks. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.